Hi everyone and welcome to Club 1 episode 5 of Rolling in the Isles on FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. I don't know if you can tell in my voice, but I've recently had a bit of a virus, bit of a chesty cough, bit of a cold. So that's why if you've been watching these episodes as they get released, we've had a couple of days where I wasn't able to release one just because I wasn't able to speak very well. My voice is just coming back, so you'll have to forgive me today if it sounds a little bit ropey, but I really desperately wanted to keep the momentum of this series going and keep putting out videos as much as I can. Over the next couple of days it's probably going to be a little inconsistent still, but hopefully leading into next week we'll be back to normal. So where are we at within the series? Well, we took over from Cobh Ramblers in the middle part of last season for them. Their season runs from February through to November, and we took over in the sort of like the July, August time, I think. I can't remember exactly when it was, but somewhere around there. And so we finished off the first season and we finished in 6th. That's where I found them and that's where we managed to keep them. It wasn't too difficult, to be honest, even though I don't think we played particularly well and didn't get brilliant results. We still maintained that 6th place finish. So we've now had a transfer window between the end of the first season and the beginning of the second. We're sitting on the 14th of February. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And that is the start of season 2. We are going to be playing Drogheda Utd, which actually was the first team that we played when we came into the club last season. So if we just go back and have a look at the fixtures in the last bit of the season, this is where we came in. It was in July, so we played Drogheda Utd in our first game and we lost 2-1 to them. You can see it was inconsistent, but we managed to get enough points to sustain a 6th place finish, and that was all right. So it'll be interesting today playing them again to see whether we've improved at all. And I think that we kind of have, but it's a bit of a mixed bag. So the first thing I need to tell you that is basically the club financially aren't in a great position at the moment, and it's probably my fault. I mean, you know, this is where we took over. And they were in the red and now in the whichever way around it's supposed to be. See, my brain isn't working. Anyway, we're now quite a way down from where we should have been, and that's partly, I don't really know why it is really. I mean, I spent some money in terms of wages at this point, and that probably didn't help. But we've redressed that balance slightly in the transfer window. So you can see that whilst we're 28 grand in debt in the red, we never had a transfer budget, so that's fine. We've been making a profit this season, and now you can see that our wage budget has got £425 per week in it that we're not using, and I think that should start to help to redress that balance slightly. I've tried as much as I can in this transfer window to figure out a way to make some money back again, and I think hopefully we should start to see a difference in that, but something that we'll have to keep an eye on. So how have we done it? Well, in terms of transfers, there's not an awful lot to tell you about, but first off we're going to go and talk about the released players. So these are just some that had reached the point where I needed to get some off the wage bill. Some were earning too much money for the squad position that they held. Some were coming to the end of contracts, etc. There were lots of reasons why, and in the end these 5 players were released on free transfers. If we go to all transfers, there were a couple more that went to specific clubs on frees just because their contracts were running out, etc. So we managed to get 7 out of the club, and we only bought 2 in, and we bought a couple up from our youth ranks as well, just to fill the squad, and I'll show you a couple of them in a second. So the couple, for example, we got rid of Halson, and you can see that I don't think there was anything special there particularly. It had a decent set of physicals, a decent determination, but not really much technically to speak of. So yeah, that was a bit of a problem for us. So for example, what we've bought in is, you may even recognise this guy, Carlos Edwards. He's 41 years old, yes, 41. He's not got particularly good physicals anymore, But I bought him in because he's got experience and he's got determination and a certain level of tackling and pace and marking, etc., for being a defensive fullback. And I don't know how much he'll play for us, but he's on he's on 20 quid per week. So, what can you do, really? I think that's a decent excuse me. I think that's a decent wage to give to anybody at this level, really. Not the best player in the world, but adds something to our squad. I mean, he's been capped 94 times, which is just brilliant for this level. So anyway, Carlos Edwards comes in. Welcome to the club, Carlos. This guy I'm quite excited about. Not because he looks utterly amazing, but you can see he's got some very key attributes that are worth having about. I wish his composure was higher, but his finishing and heading is good, his determination is good, his pace and natural fitness, agility is good, and so I think he can potentially get some goals for us this season. If you look at his friendly matches that we've had so far, he's got 3 goals in 4 games, but it's not just about him that is the reason I'm excited. It's that although we can't play it today because his potential striking partner, who is this guy, Niall Dolan, who's only 17 years old, again has got similar attributes in terms of what's positive about him. Whilst he can't play today just because he's picked up a little bit of a knock and he's going to be out for about 3 weeks, collectively he's got 2 in 3 in the friendly matches as well, and collectively as a partnership they've looked pretty decent, and I'm hoping for some goals from them this season as we move through the season. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm really excited about Dunn, because I think his partnership with Dolan could work. This of course is one of our youngsters that we brought up. I said that we brought sort of 2 or 3 up, and so it's the likes of Dolan that have come in, and we've got Stephen Ford has come in. Now he's not the best striker by any stretch, and we basically brought him in to fill a spot really, but he's got plenty of potential, and if we can get a few games out of him here and there in the right circumstance, then that will be decent for his development. But ultimately we had to balance the thing of putting a squad together, a balanced squad in the way with the players that I want in terms of how I want to play the team, but also figuring out the finances of the club as well. So I've tried as much as I can to balance that. So the only one that came in terms of youngsters that has really properly come in and immediately stepped into the first team along with Dolan when he's fit is this guy here, Shane Power. He's a left-sided midfielder, and again he's not brilliant by any stretch of the imagination, but I think given half a season of playing regularly, some of these attributes will boost quite a bit, you would hope. And then if you're in double figures for things like crossing and dribbling, and you've already got decent free kick taking, which is useful, and he's a decent leader, decent determination, if you can boost a couple of these attributes, his decision making and his pace up by 1 into double figures, all of a sudden for this level you've got a reasonable player at the age of 16. So there's plenty of option for him to grow in his development here. So that's why he's been bought in, and I didn't have a better option in that position really. I mean, this is the backup for the left-sided midfield role. You can see that again, crossing, dribbling isn't the best, but he's got some decent physicals about him, and those are the things that you have to be aware of at this level of football. You have to find the compromises and hope to find a player that's got something about him. For example, Murphy here is one of our other striking options, and has got a decent level of finishing and a decent level of pace. Off the ball is good, determination is good, that's fabulous. Obviously heading's not brilliant, and composure again isn't brilliant, but if we can up that during this first half of the season, then he's not bad for this level, and you've just got to seek those out. So anyway, I don't want to ramble on too much, otherwise my voice won't be able to cope with it today. But you can see that we've made a few changes. We've tried to reshape the squad. What I think we've got overall is actually a fairly decent balance in terms of positions that we can cover in the squad now, which is good. We've got various states of contract issues and other bits that we're trying to work on as we go, but that again is just part and parcel of being at this level. So yeah, first game of the new season. All of the transfers in and outs have been done, so we are set now. It's the middle of February. We run through till November in terms of this particular league and how it's set out. So today's game against Drogheda Utd is a good barometer to see where we're at, really, compared to where we were at when we came into the club last season. So if we just rubber stamp the team for today, we're going to be playing a slightly different formation than we did before, and slightly different way of playing than we did before, just ever so slightly, in the sense of you can see that we've moved our left-sided winger up one into the attacking midfield line, and we've made our right-sided winger a bit more attacking also. In terms of our play, we're more attacking than we were. I felt last season it was worth coming in and playing a fairly balanced style just to see what we've got about us. But I think we've got enough about us to think that maybe if we're positive and we can attack teams, then maybe we can get some decent results from this group of players. And I really do think that we've got a couple of striking options that could work potentially and get us some goals. So yeah, I mean, that can all change, obviously. None of this is set in stone, but that's my the way that I've thought about setting up my team for this year. I want to give it a go and see what happens. So the team for today is Hunt in goal, Fleming at right back, Taylor at left back, O'Riordan and McSweeney in central defence, Turner on the right, Power on the left with Buckley and Hurley in central midfield, Dunn and Murphy up top with Lyons, O'Sullivan, O'Rourke, Kennedy, O'Connor, O'Driscoll, O'Leary and Cronin on the bench. So let's get into the first game of the season and see what happens. So in terms of team talk, I've assertively suggested that we've got nothing to lose here. We know how good we are. Let's show everyone else what we're capable of. It didn't quite get the motivated response that I was hoping for, but at least people seem to be listening. So let's go into kickoff. Obviously, on the first day of the season, being away from home is not ideal, but that's just one of the things that you have to cope with. So we are away from home. The cross comes in for their corner kick. We're playing in our sort of oh no, I could see that coming out the corner of my eye as I was trying to describe colours. I thought they're going to get a decent long shot here, and they did. So it's Kavanagh right on the edge of the box, out to Gallagher, comes back into Kavanagh, and he skips past, he doesn't even skip past anyway, just slightly nudges it sideways and then powers a shot into the top right hand corner. And apparently at this level we play against Ronaldo, because that was quite some strike, wasn't it, really? Ball over the top into the penalty box. What happened there? No, surely not a penalty. Oh, dear me. It's all falling apart so early in the game, isn't it? Penalty kick. Lions on the penalty. Oh, very good save by Hunt. Well done, sir. And it goes out for a corner kick. They keep the pressure on. Corner comes in and comes back out to Kavanagh again. Watch those long shots, guys. But they keep the ball quite nicely, but we get another foot in and clear the ball, but I think that's where the highlight ends. So we're playing in the claret and blue, that's what I was going to say. And again, that whenever I talk about colours, we concede a goal. Never mention it again. Oh dear. Free kick right in the middle of our half of the pitch, and Keegan on the ball over the top to the oncoming Doyle, who volleys it home with the left foot. And really early on, we look completely out of our depth, don't we, really, considering that it's a new season. But anyway, can we find something on the break? Here comes Power down the left-hand side, and the game opens all the way up for him. Can he go all the way? He can't, but on the follow-up, Turner can't make it. Oh, we had a couple of half decent attempts there. So Power, what a great run that was. And Turner on the right-hand side, I thought might be able to slot it home, but he didn't quite manage it. And Turner again down the right-hand side, but there was nobody there for a cross. It was kind of half shot, half cross, and neither really worked, did it, particularly. And they come back at us again. And we've got a decent shape about us, but we're not getting the challenges in, and Doyle gets a shot but goes over the top of the crossbar. So we're in the 21st minute. You can see that we're struggling a little bit to keep up with them, but just beginning to show signs that we're getting a couple more bits of the highlights. But dwelling on the ball doesn't help Fleming, does it? Oh dear. And back they come at us again, and Keegan, but we again get a decent foot in, and Power races away with the ball into Murphy at the top of the box. Shot goes over the top though again. We need to get those strikers slightly closer in before they're shooting, I would suggest. But again, Power has shown his promise down that left-hand side. Turner with the free kick. Can we do what they did to us? Dunn receives the ball and pokes it home. And unless there's any issues with offside, etc., he scored on his actual competitive debut, and we're back in the match a little bit at 2-1. Turner is a good free kick taker. He did it well for us at the back end of last season, did it well for us then. What composure from Dunn to bring it down, and he seemed to have all the time in the world to just wait for his moment, and he pokes it home, and we're 2-1. Slightly poor goal kick there from Hunt, gives the ball directly away. Challenge comes in, and the loose ball eventually finds its way to Power again down that left hand side, tries to pass it seemed to the ref, but the ref moved out of the way, and again Drogheda come away with the ball, and Lyons at the top of the penalty box gets a shot away, but it's high and wild, isn't it, really, on that particular occasion. 25 minutes gone, and it's a highlight heavy first half. Drogheda come back at us again, but a loose ball finds Taylor, who, as they did, just blast the ball, and we seem to be neither seem to want the ball at the moment. And there's a decent ball over the top for Lions, but a good goalkeeping save by Hunt again. And for a while nobody seemed to want the ball, but then they picked it up in the right sort of areas and had another opportunity. Us down the left hand side from a throw in. Hurley takes the ball, holds up the play. Can he move it on to one of our guys? He can, to Buckley, on to Murphy, back to Hurley. Hurley, Buckley and Murphy is quite a tongue twister at times, but okay. But there's another loose ball and another loose ball, and so challenges come in. Ball is often under no one's control, and eventually we find it again, and Dunn, yeah, not quite on target. Could see what he tried to do, didn't quite have the quality there to finish it. But yeah, loose balls in midfield is a big key problem for both sides, I would suggest. Here we come back again though, and again they intercept the ball, and Kavanagh comes away with them down the right hand side there. We're in a decent position shape wise. Can we clear the ball? We can half clear it back to Kavanagh on the top of the penalty box, and they rebuild again, keeping the ball nicely. And oh, that's some strike, isn't it, from the edge of the box. It feels like we're playing the height of Champions League type players in football at times, with the opportunities they get to power the ball right into the top corner. At this level, that's, I wouldn't suggest that probably happens twice in one game too often, but okay, we'll go with it. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, here they go again down the left hand side from a throw in, but a very loose throw in gives Buckley a chance, and he misses the chance. And that's going to be the big problem, isn't it? Unless you can convert your chances when you're gifted them like that, you're going to struggle. And we didn't quite manage to convert it. Hurley on the ball. Can we get another decent opportunity? Buckley, where's the support for him? It's in the shape of Fleming in the right back position. Onto Hurley, back to the central defender. And it's a bit sort of scrappy, but oh, what a great through ball it was from Fleming for Dunn to run onto. And I told you that in the early pre-season he was on good form in scoring terms, and again he's demonstrated it. So as there's O'Riordan, loose ball, but it comes back to Fleming, first time ball right into the path of Dunn. Goalkeeper doesn't stand a chance, and Dunn puts it in the back of the net, and we're back to 3-2 in the first half. What a bit of a goal fest it's been in the first half. Will that continue into the second half, or will we manage to find a way to tighten up slightly? Here's another through ball from Murphy, and it's from Fleming again over the top from Murphy. He's put in a couple of those long balls, and our poachers have managed to find a way to shake off their markers and get a decent hit at it. So they cleared the ball, but only to Fleming. Again, it's a first time ball. No thought about it, just that's what the ball was, and so he did it, and Murphy latches onto it, controls it very nicely, and then puts it in the back of the net for 3-3 at half time. What an interesting first half it was. I thought we were in a lot of trouble at times, but we've fought our way back into it. We're going to appreciate their efforts. So Fleming, you can see he's wound up. Well, that's been demonstrated by his first time balls, hasn't it? But some good ratings in there, some not so good ratings in there that we have to concern ourselves with, but physically everybody's doing okay, so we can just go straight into the second half, and we'll make some substitutions later when necessary. But yeah, very interesting, highlight heavy first half, wasn't it? I suspect it might quieten down a little bit in the second half, but we'll see. You can see in terms of the match stats, it's all fairly even, isn't it? So here's an opportunity for us down our left hand side. Power onto Murphy. Murphy across to Turner. Fleming will pick up the loose ball. Can he find another cross? Turner does, and there's Power, the youngster, on, I think it's probably his debut as well. It is his debut, his competitive debut. He didn't play for us last season, and he comes in at the back post. Sorry, I'm struggling for breath a little bit with the chesty cough, etc. that I've got, but good build-up play, and Turner finds him on the far post, and he had a decent header there, and we found ourselves 4-3 up partway through the second half. Here's a highlight for Drogheda Utd on the top of the penalty box. Keegan with the free kick. Is he going to have a shot, or is he going to pass it off? He's going to have a shot, and again, it's a lovely strike, isn't it? Right into the top corner, and Hunt didn't really get a strong enough hand to it. And fairly immediately, Drogheda have hit back, and it's now 4-4 in the mid part of the second half. So we're going to make a substitution or two in a minute just to see if we can find a way to win this game. So what have we got? We've got some defensive issues, haven't we? So if we take off Taylor and bring on Lyons, he's our replacement left back. And we take off one of our two central defenders that is struggling a little bit. So let's take off Sweeney and bring O'Sullivan on, and then we can make one slightly further forward as well. And I think let's take off Hurley just because he's complacent, and we don't really want him to be, do we? So we're going to bring Kennedy O'Connor on for Hurley, and just see if we can get a slightly more composed performance out of him for the last 20 minutes or so. So that's the changes that we're going to make. Opportunity for us down the left hand side. Looks like Taylor's going to take a throw in just before he's substituted off. Power takes the ball. Taylor with the cross. Loose ball, and whoa, that was some header, wasn't it? Excuse me while I had to clear my throat a bit there. But yeah, that was some header in the end. So Taylor with the throw in, goes to Power, back to Taylor. Cross gets partially cleared. Buckley puts the pressure on, heads it back. Goalkeeper is completely taken out by that, and we again go a goal up, and it's now 5-4 in this completely mad goal fest. What a first day of the season this is. If this is the sort of entertainment we're going to provide, it's going to be quite a fun season, you would imagine, as long as we maintain some of the wins. So yes, 5-4 after 80 minutes. It's now with their goalkeeper. He goes long. We partially clear it, and Murphy picks up the loose ball for us, which is great. Lyons in the left back position. Doesn't maintain possession, gives it away to Kavanagh, and they run quickly at us in the counter-attack style. They get a chance, but again Hunt stands up very well, and he's played pretty decent for a goalkeeper that's let in 4 goals, I would suggest. Corner comes in, but it's cleared comfortably for another corner for Drogheda Utd. And so Keegan with the right-footed corner comes into the near post. Again, a decent clearance, and Dunn picks up the loose ball and gets fouled. And is that going to be a yellow card? It is. And Kavanagh picks up a yellow card, and that lets the time tick on a little bit. You can see that they picked up quite a few yellow cards, whereas we haven't so much. So that's positive in that sense for us too. Long ball over the top for them, but we get a decent headed clearance on it. Again, Dunn picks up the loose ball. Kennedy O'Connor in midfield, out to Power down this left hand side, pokes it through for the on running striker, but he hadn't read the ball really and was on his heels and didn't get there. So the goalkeeper again goes long. Good, strong defensive header from O'Riordan, but Kavanagh picks it up for them in midfield. Again, we're playing back and forth a bit. That was quite a decent effort, but in the end went wide. You can see it's quite sort of pinball, isn't it? You know, it's just pinging around a little bit until somebody can get some quality on it and take ownership of the ball. Buckley, can he do that here? Puts a ball through to Dunn, got a lot of work to do, gets a bit lucky on the ricochet there, and Kennedy O'Connor finds it. Murphy onto Dunn, keeping the ball at the top of the penalty box. Where's the through ball? There's the through ball. Dunn couldn't quite get his foot on it though, and they come away with the ball and poke it forward, and that's the end of the game. It was a decent game, wasn't it? Really highlight heavy. You can see that Paul Keegan for them had the man of the match performance, but we took the 3 points, which is a huge surprise to me really. At this early point in the season, I wasn't quite sure what we'd get out of the team, but to come and beat the team that beat us in our first game last season, I'm really proud of that performance. I'm going to tell them so. Nobody gave us a chance. Well done. That gets some motivation, and that's key for this group of players. Get them happy to be playing together. Let's end the season now, shall we? We're in second. Doesn't quite work that way, I don't think. But what a great start to the season that was. Highlight heavy game, lots of fun about it. Some slightly defensive issues that we'll have to sort out maybe. But Dunn was one of our stars, getting a decent debut goal. And so did Shane Power. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. That'll do it for this particular episode as we start this brand new season. I hope you're enjoying the journey with me. Hope you'll stick with me as we progress through this season. The next game that we're going to come back for, I think we're going to come back and play, let's play Longford next game. So I'll play a couple off the episodes and then we'll come back and play Longford and see where we are, see whether we got through in the Monster Senior Cup quarterfinals. And yeah, just check in with our league position. So that's the next game that we'll play against Longford. So I hope you'll join me for that, but that'll do it for this particular episode. So if you're enjoying the series, why not subscribe to the channel, keep up to date with the videos. If you like this particular episode, then why not click that like button for me, help me get seen by other people. If you're playing Football Manager yourself, I hope you're having a great time doing it. Let me know about your save in the comments below. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I will see you soon, hopefully in better voice. Bye for now.